everybody, welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ben.
We're doing it. We're jumping on the hype train. Woo! We just watched the first 4 episodes of the Netflix series Daredevil. Maybe for you 3.5.
I thought we watched 3.
We only watched 3.
Was it only 3?
Yeah. They're long episodes.
They are long
good.
episodes, yeah. Well, anyway, we watched the first 3 episodes of Daredevil, and they are spectacular.
Oh my god.
I don't think we're telling tales out of school here. Daredevil is a spectacular show. They're really, ratcheting up the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a really quality way. That said, I figure we talk about Daredevil Yellow, not just because it is one of the first books that was sent to us through our P.O. box,
Right.
Not just because it's a terrific standalone Daredevil story, and because it's the only Daredevil book I own, but it's also because Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale worked on this book. This is one of those books that Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale did, not unlike Long Halloween.
Oh!
Or Spider-Man Blue. In fact, this is one of the 3 Marvel color series for Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. They did Hulk Gray, Spider-Man Blue, Daredevil Yellow.
That's funny. I would have thought it would have been something red.
Yeah, but for no reason they went
No,
with...
that would have been... Oh, for no reason they
for
went
primary
right,
colors,
okay.
that makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah.
The theme for all of them is love. Most of them are loves you can't have. Like, Spider-Man Blue is Spider-Man lamenting the loss of Gwen Stacy, who
So
of course
he's
is dead.
blue.
He's blue, exactly. Hulk Gray, when Hulk first turned, when Bruce Banner became the Hulk, he was gray. So it's like a harkening back to that, but it's also Betty Ross, who we can't ever be with. I don't know what the gray signifies in that story, but...
the status of their relationship.
right.
It's in a gray area.
It's true. Actually, it's not bad. And finally, Daredevil Yellow...
Because he's a coward!
Well, he is the man without fear. So yellow is, of course, connotation meaning like you are afraid or a scaredy cat. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's all about fear.
Okay, well.
It's really right on the nose, but that's how they are.
So
with this.
Ben's book would be about him and Black Cat.
So it'd be
Never be.
it would be Ben Black and White. Daredevil Yellow. The other thing about this is that Jeff Loeb is number one, a consummate writer. He's also it depends on what he's writing. If it's Ultimatum, it's reprehensible. If it's Daredevil Yellow, Spider-Man Blue, Long Halloween, stuff like that, it's fantastic. So it's really one of 2 areas here. But Jeff Loeb also was made the head of Marvel TV. So Jeff Loeb is like the guy who runs all the cartoons, all the TV shows. Like he's the executive producer on all those shows.
Currently?
Currently, yes.
That's funny.
When Marvel went full cinematic, they were like, Jeff Loeb, we need you.
Don't say when they went full cinematic. That sounds...
Well, when they went for the big push, when they created their cinematic universe,
Right.
they appointed Loeb, and Loeb was more than happy to take on the
I
job.
think because how Long Halloween I associate Loeb with DC, so...
I know, because some of the best stuff he's ever done is, or one of the most recognizable stuff he's ever done, is for DC.
And then Marvel's like, hey, Jeff, come here.
Exactly. Well, and he did the color series.
Yeah, which I read Blue.
Yeah. Blue's great.
Yeah.
And gray is fine. Daredevil Yellow is interesting because the story they use, all the high points and story points in Daredevil Yellow are very ever present in the Daredevil TV show. And I think it's no mistake that the guy who wrote this and who runs Marvel TV would draw from this for the Daredevil show.
That is fair.
That said, good thing this is great, otherwise it would be crappy.
Does, are there other superheroes in this?
There are other superheroes in this.
Interesting. I thought they might pull from this because
there's no...
There weren't much.
Now, unfortunately, the only superheroes to appear in this story are owned by Fox.
No!
But they're great, and their
Okay.
appearance is wonderful.
Okay.
Daredevil's also kind of, in this story at least, one of the last superheroes to be made. Or at least one of the last, classic superheroes to appear.
Okay.
Like, Spider-Man has already appeared on the scene in the continuity of Daredevil Yellow.
Okay.
So we had the Fantastic Four come first, and then Cap was unfrozen, the Avengers were formed before that. Spider-Man was kind of like the newcomer. He's like, oh, shit's new and different. And then Daredevil shows up. And Daredevil Yellow kicks right off. In fact, you know what? It's a story where we hear about how Matt and Foggy Nelson, his once and future law partner, would graduate from college. They'd start their own law firm. It's really crappy and rinky-dink. One of the key differences between the show and this comic, Matt's kind of like college age when his dad ultimately dies.
Okay.
His dad, of course, battling Jack Murdock, decides he's on the take, he's taking dives, he wants to beat Crusher Crusher Creel. There's 2 Crushers in the Marvel Universe that are significant for the origins of characters. One's
a wrestler.
One's Crusher Hogan, a wrestler who Spider-Man defeats. One is Crusher Creel, who will eventually become the Absorbing Man, who Jack Murdock fights. Yes. And in the show, I was hoping we were going to see the guy that they cast in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fight Jack Murdock. They were smarter than that and just not show the fight.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's the same guy.
Okay.
Crusher Creel fights Jack, and of course Jack beats him when he wasn't supposed to, and he's assassinated for it.
Now, if Crusher was in on that, and
Right?
he knew that Jack was supposed to go down,
Oh my
that would have been hilarious.
I think so.
I don't think that when someone is supposed to win on a throne fight, that they know. I think they just go all out.
That's true. Yeah, they wouldn't. Yeah, because why would you? Yeah,
The show made it out to be that he knew.
Creel?
Yeah.
See,
The
I didn't catch that when
announcer
they were
says
talking
that
about
like he looks shocked.
that's right. I didn't catch that actually. That's funny. Huh. Well, in any case,
that on you.
the other thing is
Not you. Just the
I'm like, what?
basically in this story, Matt kind of creates the Daredevil persona to avenge his dad's murder. Like, he becomes Daredevil, and in fact fashions his original Daredevil costume, which you can see behind me and in the book. It's yellow. Like, it's a yellow suit. We all kind of equate it to being like the red suit. But in fact, the first suit that Daredevil wears is this yellow number. And it looks ridiculous.
Is it because the boxing outfit that his dad wore was yellow?
Yeah, he modeled it like the same color scheme after his dad's boxing robes.
That's nice.
Yeah, and it looks much more.
Who did
like
he get to
pugilist.
make it for him?
Now that's a good question. I have no fucking idea.
Maybe he makes it.
He could make it himself. It's just that maybe he doesn't even know like what the colors are. He just uses his. I don't know. It could be like a Superman thing where he uses his father's robes and then makes his costume out of it.
I don't really see him sewing.
Or making like gauntlets and boots. I don't know.
He could.
They never really established that. Like
Possible.
Anyway.
The only superhero we've ever really seen making their own costume is usually Spider-Man, and he is just terrible at it. Like,
I was going to say we're Batman.
Or Batman, yeah. But it's so cute to see Peter Parker like in his room at night, and he's just like, this is not what the Fantastic Four have to put up with. I also like that in like later stories, Mary Jane would help like fix his costume, and like she's not nearly as good as a seamstress as he is. And he's like, oh my god, MJ, what did you do?
Here, Tiger!
Yeah, he's like, great, thanks. Yeah.
I love it.
There's actually a joke later where like he takes his suit to like the tailor he would make friends with, and the tailor's like, who hemmed this, Daredevil? And he's like, my wife.
You're married to Daredevil?
So like Daredevil just he kicks the crap out of the two guys who kill his dad. One of them was the Trigger Man, the other one was like the man behind it.
Okay.
Daredevil winds up like chasing the Trigger Man into a subway, and the guy has a heart attack and just dies. And
so he's robbed.
yeah. And
Does he have a heart attack because he's afraid of what's chasing him?
yes.
Because it's the devil?
Yes, because of the devil chasing.
Well,
and
he's
of
not
course,
Rob then.
no, but he does feel like he's like, please let me punch this guy.
Well, you could still punch him afterwards.
But
He
doesn't.
He's just not as satisfied.
It's funny though, the cops chase him, and like, by the way, no one's ever seen him before. He's Daredevil for the first time. He's wearing his friggin' Daredevil costume. He's in the subway. There's a dead body, and he's holding them by his collar. And the cops show up, and they're like, what's going on here? He's like, gentlemen, my name's Daredevil. This is the body of so and so. You'll find he died of a heart attack. Now, if you'll follow me, I know where his partner is. And the cops, unlike modern comics today, where they would have been like, blah, 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 they went like, oh, well, that's fun. Okay, cool, great. And what's your name again? And he's like, it's Daredevil. And they're like, super keen. Let's go.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, and I guess if I were a cop in the '60s in
I was
Marvel,
going to say the 30s, maybe.
yeah, well, it's the '60s. Well, I mean, it's now, but like in the '60s is when Daredevil was created. Like, and they kind of act like that, like it's an older time. Like
Yeah, the 60s was kind of a turmoil.
Yeah, kind of a rough time for cops and people and dealing with law enforcement, especially in New York. Yeah.
But it was aimed.
Yeah, it's at a different demographic, you might say.
Yeah.
Well, he's white under that costume.
Yeah, I can see clearly from his chin. We'll help him out then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I assume it's because of the fact that they live in a city where there's established superheroes. Like,
Yes.
that's why it's important that he's not the most, like, the newest or the oldest superhero. He's
Exactly.
the newer one. Because it's like, hey, well, all right.
Yeah, he's like, oh, they're like, okay, a new one, cool.
I'd love it if Dr. Octopus was down in some sewer somewhere with a dead body. Don't worry, he died of brain aneurysm, as you'll never be able to tell. But trust me, he did. Now, if you'll follow me,
yeah, exactly. Foggy and Matt are having a hell of a time finding a receptionist. The idea, there's like this cute scene where like, it's like Mrs. Doubtfire when like,
they're hiring.
And then Karen Page shows up. And Karen Page, of course, was established in the show, but Karen Page is who Daredevil is narrating the whole book to. Because Karen's dead. Spoilers. But Karen dies.
What?
Yeah, it's rough. She's one of the many loves in Daredevil's life who will die.
That's in here?
Yeah. No, she doesn't. She is dead in this book. She's already dead. This is a flashback story. Where Daredevil's kind of telling us the first time he fell in love with Karen Page.
So, are you giving me spoilers from the show that I should?
I don't know. We haven't seen the end of the show. By now, probably we will. But like, I don't know if Karen's dead in the end. But like, anyone who reads comics will know Karen Page is not long.
I really like that you told us this because now I'm going to be watching Ben watching the show every time she's on screen.
This is really
well. Hopefully, we'll be able to get into Karen Page's fate in the comics because it's much more sordid and ridiculous than it probably will be in the show.
Oh.
So,
what, does she spin back and forth between Foggy and Matt?
No, but that's actually a thing in this story, which is kind of played upon in the show, which is that Foggy immediately is like, oh, like she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then Matt just shows up, and comparatively, like Foggy looks like a troll. I mean, like, and in the book especially, and Matt Murdock looks like friggin' Superman with this chiseled jaw, and he's got this big puffed up chest. He walks in with his perfect suit and his little cane, which of course he needs to see, but you know, he looks pretty good with it anyway. And he's just like, oh, hello, and Karen's like, oh my god, that guy, get out of the way. So, and that's kind of...
And he'll love me for me, because he can't see how beautiful I am.
That actually doesn't even...
Well, the joke's on you.
Yeah, no. I'll just blow on you and I'll see your face. I don't know. So, like, but Foggy is the first one to make a move. Like, Foggy keeps trying to get her to like him, and it's just not working. But, and she's clearly infatuated with Murdoch. Murdoch doesn't really play it up. He's really kind of cool. He's an okay bro. You know what I mean? He's not like...
Well, he's not immediately like, you know...
Like, let's do this.
Putting Foggy down with being like, oh, you like me? Cool, let's blow this chump later.
Yeah, exactly, no.
But not
blow
literally.
This chump later?
Foggy likes Karen. Karen likes Matt. Matt doesn't care.
Matt likes punching.
Yeah, Matt likes justice. Except that Matt also likes chicks, so he also goes.
Well, no,
for
there's one lady in his life.
Is it Lady Justice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She too is blonde.
It's true.
Her name isn't even part of the rhyme scheme.
That's right. So, unfortunately, you know, their furniture won't match. But, like, so...
But neither of them will know.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of... And then, like, we just have Daredevil being cool throughout the book. Like, Daredevil just trying different things and defeating nemesis. Foggy and Matt's first client in this book is the Fantastic Four.
What?
Fantastic Four sidle up to their, like, beautiful little office. Thing, like, puts his head through their wall. And he's like, which one of you bums is Murdoch and which one of you is Foggy Nelson?
It's like, there's a door, man!
Yeah, but they've drove in their Fantastic car! And the Fantastic Four are like, what's going on? And Richards is like, we need a lawyer to, like, be on retainer to, like, help us out with, like, patents and all these other ridiculous things we do as Fantastic Four.
Do they have the Baxter Building?
Yeah, but they need a lawyer. They don't have a lawyer yet. They just kind of recently been established. Matt ingratiates himself by just being a badass. Like, he looks at Richards and he's like, you know, my name's not Mr. Murdoch, it's Matt. You can just call me Matt. And it's cute because, like, Foggy at the end, when they leave, he's like, oh, you can just call me Matt. Yeah, you just tell the world's greatest scientist of all time that you can just call me Matt. Yeah, okay. Matt, when he first meets her, she's like, hello, Mr. Murdoch. And he's like, oh, you can call me Matt. Mr. Murdoch's my father's name. And then later, like, she calls Foggy Mr. Nelson. He's like, you can call me Foggy because Mr. Nelson's my fucking father's name. Like, he's like, the same thing. But then, like, she doesn't ever call them Matt and Foggy, and it drives Foggy insane. And the further away that Karen gets from Foggy, the more visibly and physically angry he gets, until later, like, she and Matt, like, go on, like, a non-date in front of Foggy, and then she's like, you know, Mr. Nelson, I'll see you later. He's like, it's Foggy! He throws the phone against the wall, like, he's so pissed. And then later...
That's gonna win her over, Foggy.
I know. And then Mr. Nelson. So, like, later, he eventually just decides, like, you know what, fuck it. I'm never gonna get with this chick. Like, Matt, we're friends and business partners. I can't let her screw this up, and it's making me crazy. So, like, you just go out with her, okay? Please.
And Matt's like, who?
Where? And
Man, he just bros before hosed it up.
he does, and it's sad because, like, in the book, he says like Foggy never finds love, which is not true. Foggy does, like, meet chicks. One of them is
But is
Liz
it
Allen.
love?
That's different.
Yeah, he eventually does like wind up like with Liz Allen.
Is it love or is it whoopee?
a little bit of both?
Is there any sort of main antagonist to this?
The first antagonist is the owl, who is like
Wait, that's the story?
yeah. The story
That's
is
the end?
the story is Daredevil is like just establishing himself, and he's in love with Karen, or he starts to fall in love with Karen.
And then nothing happens?
Well, and then he eventually he goes out with Karen.
And then eventually she dies, but she doesn't die in this book.
No.
It's just established that she is already dead.
Yes. He's like, God, I miss you, Karen. It makes me think of the first time we met, and then we get the story.
It's a weird book.
It's not unlike all the other books that they do.
Yeah.
But, okay, so Karen actually gets kidnapped twice in the book, and that's where like the tension shows up. The owl kidnaps her the first time. The owl is, I think his name's Owlsley. He sucks.
It's Blackguard Boltagon.
Exactly.
His last name isn't Bat.
No.
He's not Batman because it's in his goddamn name.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
His name is Owlsy Hoot Hoot.
yeah. The owl's a crappy character. The owl is this... Okay, he used to be called... By his real name, he used to be a Wall Street guru. He used to be called the Owl of Wall Street.
It's like the wolf.
Like the wolf, only an
wolf.
owl.
Only I hunt at night. I guess wolves kind of hunt at night too.
Except they ring the bell at 4, so...
But I consume my prey and then regurgitate the remains of their body later.
Yes, well, in sound investments.
Well, perhaps it's because he's known for his wisdom.
I think that's really what it is. But
That would make a lot
he's
more
also,
sense.
No, he's also a scavenger and a predator.
Owls aren't scavengers, though.
Well, all right, he's a predator.
Oh,
then.
okay.
Yeah, he's a big predator with
Yeah.
huge eyes who can turn his head around 180 degrees.
He can also morph his body.
Yeah. Yeah, he can't do that.
Transformer
He's just an idiot fat guy who can fly. He was experimented on, and
He's
now
fat?
Not fat. He's not a thin guy.
All right.
But yeah, he can fly and shit. And he eventually captures. He kidnaps Karen Page, and
Why?
I think that like they take him on as a client.
I was gonna say either they mess with him legally or
Yeah, they mess with him legally, and
Maybe,
so
like-
she's like, "Fuck this."
well, maybe they also have to like they're
Is that
bringing
him?
charges
Yeah,
against
this is he.
him. Jesus Christ,
Those eyebrows.
man, he really took his name to task on that one.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe he just looked like this, so he changed his name.
Yeah,
He's like, I just better own it now.
yeah.
Beat them to the punch.
It's kind of like Danny DeVito in Batman Forever.
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns, thank you.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you don't really look like a penguin, but you do not look human.
Yeah, but you're not a guy. No, the idea was that like there's this woman who was like a dame walks into the office and she's in trouble and she goes to the Murdochs or to Murdoch and Nelson and she's like, please help me, and it's because like she was being used by the owl, and then the owl like takes Paige as like a leverage kind of thing.
I want you to be one of my hooters. What?
Wait, that sounds terrible. What a stupid idea. Stupid.
Damn it, Elsie, you're better than that.
Exactly. That's low-hanging fruit. So, which I don't even eat.
We can be birds of a feather. Yeah.
I like that one. That's better. Where are you going? So, Owlsy winds up like capturing Karen Page and putting her in like a cage in a warehouse. And Daredevil like goes on top of a roof and he just closes his eyes and like fucking cancels out everything and like just tries to isolate her voice through like the noise of the city. And he winds up like hearing her say like Murdoch's name. And so he's like, okay, and then he goes to her. And then like the owl's like, okay, Karen Page, I'm going to kill you later, but goodbye. And then he like leaves the room and she's like, whoo, and then Daredevil shows up. And Daredevil's like, what up? And she's like, oh, Daredevil, I can't believe you're here. Like, it's classic, like, oh! And she, like, swoons, and she's like, how are you going to get me out of here? You're going to bend these bars? And he's like, don't mind if I do, hurt. And she's like, oh, you're so strong. He's like, that's right. And I'm also, I can jump and stuff. And then he picks her up, and then he, like, tries to leave, but then the owl shows up, and then they fight, and he, like, lets her go. Daredevil, get out of here before we, And by the way, he calls
Save yourself!
He calls her Karen, and she's like, how do you know my name? He's like, because I know all the pretty girls' first names in the city.
That sounds like a really bad thing to say, Matt.
Yeah, and so she's like, all right, bye. And then the owl shows up, and then, because the owl can fly...
He says, that's easy, Karen. I've seen you in my dreams ever since I can remember.
There you go. I've seen you in my dreams. It's actually worse than the line I came up with.
He has really creepy feet.
Yeah, because he's got owl feet. He just uses his talons to dig into Daredevil, and then he flies.
It's really creepy. His whole costume is a cloak.
It's the big
his
coat.
Body.
Yeah, his costume is that he's gross looking,
and he also has clawed hands.
Yeah, he has talons.
The feet freak me out.
The idea here is so Owlsy didn't always. It's not like
the eyes.
It's not like the Penguin in Batman Returns where he was born that way. In this, he originally could fly, and then he broke his spine, and so he had a bunch of surgeries and genetic experiments to make him fix that. And he just keeps subjecting his body to genetic experiments and changes so that he can be able to fly and
this
be
man
an owl
could
more.
Fly originally?
Yeah. Well, the first time, originally when he was a financier, he was just a guy. But then, through bioenhancements, he eventually could fly. And
okay, I thought when he was young, he was just
yeah, whoosh,
whoo, I can fly.
Yeah.
All right.
So no, later he was manipulated into being able to fly, and then he got addicted to it, kind of like body modification. He's like, ooh, I want to be able to fly, and I gotta be able to grab people with my owl feet, and it gotta be gross looking.
I gotta be able to turn my head around 180 degrees.
He still hasn't done that, but I guarantee you that'd be an awesome scene.
Creepy sounds.
Yeah, he makes hee hoo.
That sounds like someone's ringtone I know.
I like Daredevil talking about him here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You do.
I like this. He said he can fly, Karen. A bird. A big, fat bird.
Yup. Well, because nobody takes the owl
He's a
seriously.
jerk.
And if you Loeb's okay, I want to make a uniquely Daredevil story. I gotta use some Daredevil villains. Fuck. Yeah. Well, you could do Kingpin or Bullseye, but they've done to death. If you want to
that's
do
all they have.
Those are the best ones. And if you don't want to do an Elektra story, because you can't do Elektra if you're doing a love story about somebody else, unless he's cheating on that person, in which case you could, because Daredevil is kind of a scumbag.
Really?
Why does Electro mean that he's cheating?
No, Elektra.
Oh, Electra. I thought you said
Electro is in this book.
I see, I saw
yeah, Electro, and that's a Spider-Man villain, though, and he does fight him, and he's like, I don't really have powers. I can kind of see in the dark. That's kind of it. I'm not, enhanced strength or anything. Except he is kind of
Except I can bend these bars.
Except I can bend those bars. I don't know.
Maybe they were aluminum hollow bars.
Yeah.
Look, he wanted a really lightweight cage.
Right, well...
Owlsy had to carry that up and hang it.
Well, also to match his hollow bones.
Ooh.
He fights Electro in the story, and it's irrelevant. It's just a scene to show that Daredevil's a badass, and he can beat, hardcore characters.
This is not irrelevant.
Oh, he does get fawned over by, the Rockettes, more or less, after having defeated Electro.
Look at these dancing girls.
Yeah. And they're all ooh, he's so muscular.
Hello, ladies.
And so, he's riding...
Ben as Daredevil.
Okay, actually, it is kind of relevant because it's from that experience that he's riding high, and he's like, so Karen, you want to do something later? He actually asks her out because
these ladies...
Because these ladies are all ooh, Daredevil. And he's like,
yes, well, cold shower.
Yeah. I have to go back to the office, there's no showers there. I guess I'll just ask out Karen, and maybe I'll, get her done. So, yeah. There's actually a scene in a bowling alley, not unlike the show.
Yeah.
But in this one, no one
dies. I mean, oops.
Yeah, it's Foggy, Matt, and Karen go bowling. Foggy's bowling great, and Matt is blind.
And you don't take a blind guy bowling.
By the way, he plays it up like a jerk. And Karen's like, oh, I'll show you how. And she reaches up behind him, and she's like, whoa. And then he hits one pin, and she's like, yay, we did it. And Foggy's like, grumble.
Yeah, he is. Is it the art in this? It's interesting.
It is interesting.
Let me put the bumpers up for him.
Oh.
They don't put the bumpers up for older people because if we bashed our ball against the bumpers, we might break them. Kids can roll the ball and it doesn't really matter.
He's blind. He needs them.
He still has adult muscles.
So what the hell is Carmen Sandiego doing in this book?
She's the owl.
She's the dame.
Dame.
The dame.
The dame.
She's the damn dame.
Yeah. Later, Matt and Foggy will be court-appointed representatives for the Purple Man.
No!
Yes. And so Karen and Matt go to visit the Purple Man.
That's why is this him? Is this he?
That's one
Really,
of
that's
the...
No Lips?
No, that's one of the people who, like...
Because he looks familiar.
Yeah,
I think it's just because the art looks familiar.
Yes, and of course, Purple Man's ability is to control the minds of men. Like
Purple Man's ability is a little,
creepy? Rapey?
I thought it was controlling emotions.
No, Purple Man, also known as, by the way, Zebediah Kilgrave, who could either become a pirate or a supervillain.
I should have
with
gone
that name.
pirate!
I know.
I should have gone accountant!
Yeah. Mr. Kilgrave? Yes? You can
Yes?
call me Zebediah. He can either be an Amish pirate or a supervillain. So each went the supervillain route.
Right.
But anyway, he can literally just say whatever to anyone, and they'll have to listen to him. And they're compelled to do it. Later on, Bendis would actually do some really amazing things with Purple Man in the series Alias.
Yeah.
But in this book, he actually winds up stealing Karen Page. He tells the cops to let him go, tells Daredevil to fuck off because it's Matt Murdock, and then he says, like, oh, and you can come with me, pretty blonde chick. So he takes her, like, to a hotel, and he's like, okay, you can take all your clothes. Like, we're gonna do this.
Ooh.
And Daredevil shows up and kicks the shit out of him. He tells, like, the cops to, like, fire, because, like, the cops wind up, like, chasing Kilgrave to the hotel.
Oh, Kilgrave's kind of young in this.
Yeah, well, he's bizarrely drawn in this. There's actually, in one drawing, he's really weird looking. I don't know what they were what Sale was going for with this.
It's weird. The art's like it's not as tight as it was in
Blue.
Brain in Blue or in Long Halloween.
No, it's not.
He looks like a greaser, but I'm reminded of the one story that we read of Daredevil's on Off the Rack.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Quick sense the description of the
Oh, very nice.
Where he was much older and he had those kids.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and this, assuming he would be much younger.
Mm-hmm.
He just looks weird. I don't know. So then Daredevil shows up, kicks the hell out of him, and then I think puts a bag over his head so he can't talk. And then, like, he gives him to the authorities.
That's not how that works. I'm sorry, I'm going to be Ethan for a second. That's not how that works.
Matt goes back to the office. Foggy's like, okay, enough. Because, by the way, in the story, Foggy thinks he's fallen in love with Karen, and he's planning on asking her to marry him.
Foggy is?
Yes.
I thought he was like, nah, forget it.
No, at the end, he's like, nah, forget
okay.
it. During the story, like, Foggy just becomes more infatuated with her.
Has Foggy gone on a single date with Karen?
No.
And he's going to ask her to marry him?
Yes.
Based on what?
That she's pretty and he likes her.
Guys, don't do this.
Yeah. This is a lesson.
It's a bad idea.
Not how it works.
It is. I can assure you of this.
Yeah. It's not.
It's not.
So, by the way, after the...
Girls don't do that either.
No.
Yeah, nobody do that.
After, I think, the bowling incident, Foggy decides against the marriage decision. And then, after Karen is taken by Purple Man and Daredevil saves her, twice now, Matt goes back to the office. Foggy's like, hey, listen, I'm sorry, but, like, I'm not going to slug you because I wanted to, but, like...
But you're blind.
No, he says, like, that wouldn't have stopped me because we're friends. Like, I know you well enough to be able to...
I can hit you.
I could hit you, not because you're blind. And, but you know what?
Would Matt play that up and let Foggy hit him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And he's done that before. No, Foggy has both not known that Matt is Daredevil and known that Matt is Daredevil. And, like, during the time when Foggy didn't know, like, Matt would, like, give Foggy an upper hand just to make him feel better. Because they're best friends.
But then when Foggy knew he was Daredevil...
Then Foggy felt like a fucking asshole. Because he's like, you A, didn't tell me, and B, apparently I'm a dumbass. Like Lois Lane finding out that Superman is Clark Kent. Like, you were under my nose the whole time.
Yeah, but he's done his job. Like,
that one is also a pair of glasses.
I'm a friggin' lawyer. Like, I'm a smart guy. I know you as a person. Like, you always conveniently, like, I've got to go get my blind shoes on. Like, it's all bullshit. And he figures it out. Like, or he doesn't even figure it out. You think he tells him, and he's like, really, Matt? Like, fuck.
Oh,
well, Matt's a really good lawyer, but that doesn't mean, like...
No, Foggy's a good lawyer, too. Like, Foggy's like, I should have been able to figure this shit out.
No, my point is that Matt may be a really good lawyer, but Foggy has never seen him do anything dexterous.
No, it's true. Well, no, that's not true. No, it's not, because in this story, tying it back, they're actually pool sharks.
No, are they really?
Yeah, Matt can of course knock them all into the fucking holes without like.
Is that how they make money?
That's how they make a bunch of money. Yeah. Matt winds up like being the shark. Foggy's like, yeah, like, hey, I'm pretty good, and the other players would come over and be like, what's going on? And they're like, hey, you want to beat the blind guy? Like, I bet you like $5 a ball. And they're like, okay. And then Matt's like, dunk, cha-ching.
I like
later,
this.
Rack 'em, Foggy. And then later, in that story, by the way, all the ruffians like tell Helen Keller jokes like at Matt's expense.
No.
And then it's so cute. Actually, there's a great moment because like Matt at this point has not decided like he's gonna bang Karen yet. Foggy's like, Matt, can you help me out here? Can you wingman for me? And then Matt says, so anyway, Foggy, why don't you make sure that Karen gets home safe? I'll head back. And then they both get into the cab, and then the ruffians come back, and they're like, I don't think you're blind. I'm gonna kick the shit out of you. And Matt's like, I am blind.
Go ahead and try that.
Let's do it. And then he kicks their asses. So it's cool. It's a fun little story. So yeah, Daredevil Yellow is literally just that story.
There are a lot of quips and one-liners in this, and
yes.
I really like it.
It is. It's very zippy.
Yeah, it is.
Matt's a very clever character, and I think this is a great opportunity for Loeb to be like, no, like, Matt is one of those people who, like, Matt is a self-loathing son of a bitch.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
But he also knows how to have a good time, how to get it over on someone, and how to ignore his guilt in order to get his rocks off. Like, that's the kind of person he is.
You know who this is not sounding like at all?
The guy we're seeing on screen?
No. Ben Affleck.
Oh, no.
What? No.
Well, I tweeted about this yesterday, but, like, the show makes that movie look vulgar by comparison. Like, that movie is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Like, that movie doesn't even know what it's trying to do. I used to be like, nah, the movie's, whatever. Like, it was 2003, they didn't even know what they were doing.
Well, like, and the movie is still fun, but, like,
it's fun,
wow,
but,
that's
like,
really
not
very,
even
that's
close.
a different Daredevil.
Yeah, it's not.
And it's not the one I want to see now.
No. Never.
I want to see this one.
I know we kind of touched on it before, but this art is really all over the place.
It is very all over the place.
But then this is one of the most incredible pages I've ever seen.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
The whole, like, all styling is essentially the same, like, the materials
Except for that
used,
one shot.
But this one page is unlike any other page in the way that it's put together.
That's because he's transforming. So the art transforms for that page.
Yeah, but just this page, because then
Which is
even
that one
look.
time.
Like, that's not the same.
No, it's not. It's cool, though.
That's because he's not transforming on that page.
Oh, shut up!
He's already established. So, yeah. The
This
story
is awesome.
The story is fun. It's a really nice self-contained book. I really like the characters, and it's just... There's like a lot of...
So
I love
he
when they
tells
do this.
Foggy, like, you go and take her home.
So yeah, he's like,
Oh.
and then he goes and kicks the crap out of those ruffians. At the end of the story, Foggy's like, you can have her. Like, I'm sorry. That I was
like, I tried, and like...
Yeah, I failed, man. Like, I tried...
She doesn't want me.
She doesn't want me, yeah, exactly. And then Matt's like, okie dokie, and then she shows up and she calls them both Matt and Foggy.
Aw.
And they're like, what? And she has fallen for Daredevil.
Oh. And Matt's like, ah!
Yeah, and she's like, Daredevil's the one for me, Matt, sorry. And then Foggy's like, well, I guess I'm over that. When Daredevil rescues her the last time, she's like, if you're going to be a devil, like, why aren't you red? Doesn't make any sense.
He's like, I'm not?
Yeah. Oh. So then...
What's red?
Well, he goes like, so do you like red, Karen? She's like, it's my favorite color.
Oh, and then he changes the
That's why
costume.
she's wearing red at the end.
Yeah.
Because it's her favorite color?
Because she told Daredevil that it was her favorite color.
Yeah, but
So then maybe he would notice her, because she doesn't know he's blind.
Well, that makes sense, but at the same time, like...
That's when she reveals that she's in love with Daredevil, so
Yeah, she's
She's
Alex...
wearing red. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end, he's like, yeah, and then...
And so is Matt!
Yeah, Matt's wearing a red tie and a red neckerchief.
That's
No,
cute.
neckerchief.
Yeah, it's cute.
That is cute.
It's like, so...
Hang
no,
on,
he's-
let me point out the fact that they also made sure that Foggy's wearing green, which is its opposite complement.
color.
Yeah.
So it's never gonna work.
Nope.
Yeah, sorry. Foggy, fictional character who doesn't even...
Who in that panel looks like Froggy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really weird. That's a thing that they carry out through most of the books.
Yeah.
So let's get into Karen Page a little bit, because,
Okay.
like, Karen's dead in the story, and you're kind of
Right.
like, why is Karen dead? Karen and Matt got together eventually. They wind up getting, hooking up, and Karen winds up getting addicted to heroin.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. And then she gets into pornography.
Wait. You don't just end up getting addicted to heroin because, like, oh, you know, one day I figured, like, I'll try heroin.
They could afford it.
No, they find out that, like, when she eventually does wind up with Matt, he tells her who he is.
And she goes off the deep end?
More or less. I mean, like...
Seriously?
It's more like... No, she's an addictive person. Like, she is addicted to different things, and one of them winds up being heroin, the other one is sex, and she gets into porn, and then he helps to rehabilitate her, like... And then,
but only with the heroin.
With the heroin, yeah. and as a result, while she's in rehab, she also isn't making porn anymore. But while she's being rehabilitated, she finds out that he's actually banging Typhoid Mary on the side, which makes her go even more crazy.
Okay,
actually, Typhoid Mary?
Whoa. Her name is Typhoid Mary.
Typhoid Mary is a supervillain.
You don't have sex with someone named Typhoid Mary.
Typhoid Mary is
Typhoid as a precursor to anything.
Yes.
If it's Typhoid Susan.
Or Typhoid Bill.
Right?
Yeah, no. You don't.
They don't. No. Well, Typhoid Mary's called that because Mary was this, like, weird, insecure chick, and Daredevil accidentally pushed her out a window, and she went crazy, and she's, like... She wound up getting, like, all these, like... She's kind of
diseases?
Like, no. She's not actually poisonous. She has, like, multiple personality disorder, and, like... One of them is, like, a super sexual, like, deviant. The other one is a meek and timid person. The other one's, like, a megalomaniacal, like, strategist. And they all have the ability to control some psionic ability and some psychic ability.
None of that screams typhoid at me.
No, well, she is typhoid. Like, she is the toxic thing. So Daredevil winds up banging her while he's...
Why?
Because he can't help himself. Because he's Daredevil. Matt Murdock, what are you going to do? That's what he does. That's what he does.
Really?
Because he's a sex addict, too.
A little bit. He's repressed, so he's got to get it all out. He's very much into chicks.
Does he bang Black Cat ever?
Yes. Well,
Not you.
Not you.
By the way, in terms of what you said before, I don't think it would be Ben Black and White. I'm pretty sure if I tried to hit on Black Cat, it would be Ben Black and Blue.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Good one.
A good one.
Yeah, she eventually gets addicted to love. So she breaks up with Matt. She winds up actually getting a radio host job, and then eventually she gets a job as a talk show host in L.A. And
okay.
Karen, her life really turns around.
Karen, I used to be addicted to heroin and was in porn. Now I'm a radio and
now I'm like
then a
Good Morning
TV
America.
host.
Yeah.
I don't think they would make that choice.
Well, they did. She winds up doing like a routine blood test, and Mysterio, Master of Illusion, Spider-Man villain, he is really depressed and miserable because he's got a brain tumor and he's dying and he's never defeated Spider-Man. So he decides, like, if I can't beat Spider-Man, maybe I'll beat, like, Daredevil, because Daredevil sucks, especially compared to Spider-Man. So he figured, I'm sorry, Karen, while she's addicted to heroin, she winds up selling Matt Murdock's secret identity to her pusher. And her pusher sells the identity to the Kingpin, and the Kingpin ruins Matt Murdock's life.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So Karen Page is kind of a jackass.
Yes. A little bit.
Later on.
So
I guess.
Well, she sells his identity for drugs. And, so then...
But that was only after she was addicted to heroin. She wouldn't have done that before.
No, it's true. No, it wasn't until she needed it.
Maybe,
like,
what if she was addicted to, like, Pogs or something?
I need that slammer!
I don't think anyone could be addicted to pot.
Alright, what if she was addicted to Magic the Gathering?
Alright, well, that's fair.
Yes.
Go and do her
Gotta
local
build
card
the decks.
And she's like, listen, Gary.
Gary,
You know Daredevil's Matt Murdock.
Gary, I need that super rare foil. I know you got it.
I need the 6-6
Karen, I know you're not good for it.
With Trample.
With Trample.
I need it.
So,
and Swarm.
So she... I don't play Magic. So, she, eventually she goes to get a blood test for work. It's just a regular thing that apparently happens in TV show jobs. So she gives blood, and Mysterio, who knows that Matt Murdock is Daredevil now, uses his illusion powers to make it look like she's HIV positive.
See, I didn't want to go there, but I was guessing it was going there.
Yeah. That she got it maybe from the sex or the needles, but either way, she's HIV positive.
So what, she kills herself?
So she goes back to New York to tell Matt, like, you might have AIDS. So then she goes there, and while he's fighting Bullseye, Bullseye grabs one of Matt's, like, billy clubs and throws it at him. And Karen, thinking she's going to die anyway, puts her head in the way and fucking dies.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then...
Does she even tell Daredevil?
No, but eventually Daredevil puts the pieces together and then battles Mysterio, and then Mysterio shoots himself in the head. Comics, everybody! But yes, that's what happens with Karen. I don't think they're going to do that in the show.
I would hope not.
Thank God that's not in this book.
They might.
This book would be incredible.
But they might go really dark, where like she does get addicted to heroin, and she does get into porn, and she does get HIV.
So does this says that the Kevin Smith story happened?
Oh yeah. Oh no, it happened.
Is she back?
No.
She's still dead?
Yeah.
Karen's always dead.
Yeah.
She's one of those
like
people that will
Uncle
not
Ben?
come back.
Like Uncle Ben and Gwen Stacy.
Stacy.
And,
unless it's a Spider-Verse.
And, wasn't there a Native American character also?
Oh, and Warpath or
Yeah.
Thunderbird?
Thunderstrike.
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird?
Yeah, Thunderstrike is an alternate Thor.
Thundercat?
Right. Eric Masterson.
This book seems really nice, and
It's
I liked
fun.
Blue. Do you think it's up to par with Blue?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's as good a Daredevil story as Spider-Man Blue is a Spider-Man story. I'm really hoping, and I've heard some theories, that like the Daredevil show is going to be like Season 1, Frank Miller. Season 2, Brian Michael Bendis. Season 3, like these different writers' eras of Daredevil.
Oh, interesting.
So the story will really change.
The story
as
and
it
the
progresses.
tone. Like Bendis' story will be much more like dialogue heavy, but also like more highfalutin, and then we'll get maybe Mark Waid's version of Daredevil was a little happier because I hear things get real dark real soon. So like he's gonna need a moment where he's like smiling once.
So if you're not watching it, watch it.
Yeah, check out Daredevil. We have no connection with Netflix. We cannot give you any promo codes or anything like that.
Although if Netflix wants to reach out to us,
Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, everybody.
that was us being nervous about Netflix suddenly walking in and being like, ComicPop, we watch you.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we're
Who would have thought?
You don't act like that.
Yeah,
when,
you're not-
when giant corporations come.
You don't turn into like a
pick you?
stooge
No.
from the 30s.
That's probably why they like you.
Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. This is Back Issues, Daredevil Yellow from Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. You should pick it up. And I got a link in the description box down below where you can pick up your own copy. It's totally worth picking up. And, of course, if you haven't had a chance, watch the show on Netflix by the same name.
Yeah.
Yellow. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We really appreciate it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Click this notification here to see every episode of Back Issues I've ever done. And we'll see you guys next time. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ben.
So long. Tira's like, I got you! Blam.
What the crap is going on?
I know.
This universe is just bizarre.
The whole plot was written and created by Kevin Smith, by the way.
Kev,
He,
what are you doing?
that was during the Guardian Devil story, where like there's this kid who's born who they think is like the reincarnation of the like they think it's the Antichrist, but like it's not because that's not real. And Spider-Man helps Daredevil like save it, and at the end, Matt's like because of me, kind of, Karen's dead because I pushed her into this like crazy life, and Spider-Man's like, yes, but we did save that baby. And, like, so there's always a silver lining. Like,
What's he gonna do with that baby?
that Daredevil baby. He actually winds up putting up for adoption, and a kindly couple in New Jersey adopt it.
Are
And
they called the Smiths?
I think he does establish they live in, like, Leonardo or Highlands or something like that. And it's like, yeah. Like, the Smiths wind up adopting him.
Is it a girl?
It is a girl.
Oh, I was gonna say it was a boy.
Yeah.
And he's got a beard.
a
already.
really chubby
I was gonna
baby
say,
boy.
Is it a girl who ends up later on having an adventure with Jay, Silent Bob, Chris Rock?
Yeah, and Alan Rickman?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Can't be that baby.
But he does. At the last line of the book is something like, I hope that they don't mind if she occasionally gets a visit from her uncle Matt. It's like a kind of
Did he ever visit?
no.